Before there were restaurants, before there were cookbooks, before anyone wrote down a single recipe on this continent, there was Egusi soup.
Hey guys, welcome back to Chef Ziko's kitchen, the only kitchen in the world where the food is legendary and the chef is unhinged. Episode 1, we made jollof rice, and Ghana has been very quiet since. We appreciate the silence. But today we are not making something loud. Today we are making something ancient, something that has been feeding families, healing the sick, celebrating the newborn, and comforting the grieving for longer than anyone in this kitchen can remember. Today we make Egusi soup, with pounded yam, from scratch, every single step. Nothing skipped, nothing rushed, nothing disrespected. And before we start, if you watched episode 1 and you have not subscribed yet, I want you to think very carefully about the choices you are making in life. The subscribe button is right there. It costs you nothing. It means everything. Go. Good. Now, let me introduce you to some proteins. Now, I need everyone watching this, whether you are in Lagos, London, Houston, Toronto, or wherever this video found you today, I need you to look at what is on this table.
We have beef. We have shaki, that is cow tripe for my international family. We have ponmo, that is cow skin. We have stockfish, dried Norwegian cod that traveled across the ocean to be here today. And we have smoked fish, because smoked fish in a pot of egusi is not optional. It is mandatory. It is the law. This stockfish, I need to talk about this stockfish. Completely dried, hard as a textbook, smelling like a decision. And Nigerians looked at it, we looked at this dried Norwegian cod, we said, yes, this goes in the soup. And we were right. For my Nigeria viewers, you already know. For my international viewers, I promise you by the time this soup is finished cooking, you will understand everything I just said. And this is shaki, cow tripe, the honeycomb of the stomach. Before you change the channel, French cuisine, tripe à la mode de Caen. Italian cuisine, tripe à la romana. Mexican cuisine, menudo. Nigerian cuisine, shaki negusi. We are in excellent company. Stay with me. Now this is important. The stockfish was soaked last night, 12 hours minimum in warm water. If you are planning to make this soup tomorrow, your stockfish goes in water tonight. Now, before you sleep, set an alarm if you need to. The soup cannot wait for an unsoaked stockfish. Look at that water. That is 12 hours of the stockfish releasing itself, softening, opening up, becoming ready. We rinse it thoroughly, we break it into pieces, manageable pieces, and we remove any remaining bones carefully. Take your time here. Nobody wants to find a bone in their soup, and we are not serving surprises today. Shaki and ponmo, these two require extra attention in the washing. They are tough. They have texture. They have been through things. We respect that and we clean them properly. Baking soda. This is the secret weapon for tough cuts. It neutralizes any remaining odor and begins to break down the tough fibers, making your shaki tender enough to enjoy without needing 3 hours of chewing. Into a separate pot, shaki and ponmo together. We parboil these first on their own. They need 45 minutes minimum before they are tender enough to join the main pot. Medium heat, lid on. They are going to take their time and we are going to let them.
She's sleeping. Let her sleep.
45 minutes. We move. The beef. Bone in chunks because the bone is where the stock gets its soul. We discussed this in episode 1. Boneless beef makes boneless stock. And boneless stock has nothing to say. Now we season. And we season like we mean every single word. White pepper in, garlic powder in, ginger powder in, 3 Maggi cubes crumbled, not dropped whole. If you drop a whole cube into your seasoning, 1 piece of beef gets all the flavor and the rest of them are just watching. We do not do that here. We are equal opportunity seasoners in this kitchen. Onion, salt. Now we massage this in every single piece, minimum 2 minutes. The seasoning needs to know the beef personally before they go into the pot together. If you have 30 minutes, cover this and marinate. If you have overnight is better. If you have neither, season properly right now and the pot will do the rest of the work. Everything goes in the beef with all its seasoning and aromatics. Now the shaki and ponmo have been parboiling for 45 minutes. We check them. Not fully tender yet, that is good. We do not want it fully cooked at this point. It will finish in the egusi soup later. Into the main pot. Everything together now, beef, shaki, ponmo. 1 pot, 1 stock, 1 purpose. Cold water just enough to cover. We are making stock, not a swimming pool. High heat, bring to the rest. This needs 45 minutes to 1 hour. The beef needs to be fully tender. The shaki needs to have that slight chew. Not mush, that satisfying resistance that tells you it was cooked correctly. The ponmo needs to be soft enough to bite through, but still holding its shape. That collagen, that is what you cannot get from a cube. That right there is the reason we do this properly. We separate them. Stock in its bowl kept warm.
The smoked fish. This right here is what makes egusi soup smell like a home. Not a house, a home. There is a difference. We debone this carefully, every bone removed. Take your time.
Smoked fish has small bones that hide. Run your fingers through the flesh if you feel anything. Gentle rinse, just to remove any excess smoke residue. Not too much, we want the smoke flavor. We just want it clean. Smoked fish ready. Stockfish ready. Assorted meats ready. Stock warm and waiting. Now, we build the soup. The pepper base. This is different from the jollof pepper base. For egusi, we want more body. More tomato, more bell pepper. The egusi its pepper base is the flavor foundation. 6 large plum tomatoes ripe, red, no shortcuts. 6 red tatashes deseeded, roughly chopped. Half the onion goes in now. 4 scotch bonnets. Because this is egusi soup, not a punishment, but also not a joke. 4 is the correct answer. Egusi needs a finer pepper base. No chunks this time, completely smooth. Beautiful. She is ready.
Now, the egusi. 500 grams of ground melon seed. This is where the magic begins. And I need you to pay very close attention right now because this step, whether your egusi soup is correct or approximate. There are 2 schools of thought on egusi. School 1 says, fry the egusi in palm oil first. School 2 says, mix the egusi with water into a paste and fry it that way. In this kitchen, we mix with water. Because when you mix the egusi into a paste first, it fries in lumps, beautiful, distinct lumps, each one a little pocket of egusi flavor, does not dissolve into the soup, but this is the correct way. A little water at a time, we are making a paste, not a batter. Not too wet, not too dry. Like this. It holds its shape, but it is pliable. Crayfish goes directly into the egusi paste. It will fry together with the egusi, the 2 flavors building simultaneously. This is intentional. This is the Ziko way. This pot. I want to talk about this pot. This is an enamel pot. If you have a Nigerian mother or grandmother, you know this pot. This pot has seen things. This pot has cooked things that would make a restaurant chef cry. We honor this pot today. 250 milliliters of red palm oil. Red palm oil. If your oil is yellow or white, that is refined palm oil. Put it away. We need the red. We need the color. We need the flavor. We need the soul. Palm oil heating up. You either know this smell intimately or you are about to meet it for the first time. Either way, your life is about to be different. Onion into the palm oil medium heat. We are not in a rush here. Palm oil and onion need to know each other. 2 minutes until the onion is soft and the palm oil has taken on that onion sweetness. The iru goes in now. Fermented locust beans. International viewers, this is that moment I told you about. The smell is strong. The smell is complex. The smell is ancient. Stay with me. 1 minute fry the iru, let it release into the oil, let the oil learn what the iru knows, then the pepper comes. Yes. Look at that color. Red pepper into red palm oil together, they become something deeper than either of them is alone. That is not cooking. That is chemistry. That is art. We fry this pepper base. Medium heat, stirring regularly, 20 minutes minimum, until the oil rises to the top, until the raw tomato taste is completely gone, until this pepper base smells like something that has made a serious decision. The pepper base is ready. The oil is floating. The smell is correct. Now, spoon it in. Do not pour it all at once. Spoon by spoon. Place each portion into the pot and let it begin to fry before you add the next one. Turning sleeping children. We do not break them. We do not stir aggressively. We turn. And we wait. 3 minutes each side, until the egusi lumps are golden on the outside and set in the middle. Chai. Look at that. That right there is why we fry the egusi instead of dissolving it. You cannot fake that texture. You cannot shortcut your way to that. You earn it. The stock. Do you remember what I told you in episode 1? Real stock, not water, not a Cuban hot water. This stock built from beef bone, from shaki, from ponmo. This stock has the flavor of everything we worked for in the first half of this episode. Stir it gently, bring everything together. The egusi lumps remain, the stock integrates into the pepper base. Everything is becoming one. The assorted meats go in. Beef, shaki, ponmo. All of them earned their place in this soup. They built the stock, now they come home. The stockfish, it soaked overnight, it waited patiently, it is ready. The smoked fish. This is the moment the entire kitchen changes atmosphere. When smoked fish hits egusi soup, something happens. Everything is becoming one. That's soybe. It's not just a smell. That is smell. Cooking uses instead of regular nutmeg. It is warmer, it is earthier, it is specific to this cuisine, and it elevates this soup in a way that nothing else can replicate. Seasoning cubes, 4 of them, crumbled. White pepper, 2 teaspoons. Ground ehuru, the calabash nutmeg, 1 teaspoon. This ingredient, this right here, is what Eastern Nigerian... That's the keiruth. I can taste the pepper, I can taste the crayfish, amigli. The stock is speaking. The smoked fish is speaking. Salt adjusted. Now we let this cook. Medium heat. Lid slightly open, not fully closed. Egusi soup needs to breathe while it cooks. A fully sealed lid traps too much moisture and makes the egusi break down too much. We want it to thicken naturally. 15 minutes, then the leaves go in. The egusi has absorbed the stock and pepper, now the leaves. And this is the final conversation we are having in this soup. The leaves are the last thing that goes in. They do not cook long, 5 minutes maximum. Overcooked leaves in egusi soup, I would rather not discuss what that does. Bitter leaf, pre-washed and squeezed. Now when you squeeze bitter leaf, you are controlling the bitterness level. 3 squeezes, mild bitter. Stir it through, let the soup embrace the leaf. Now the uziza. Look at that green against that red. That is not food, that is a painting. The uziza adds a peppery warmth. It finishes the soup. It is the last word in a very long and very important sentence. 5 minutes, just 5 more minutes. The leaves do not need long, they just need to introduce themselves to the soup, not move in permanently. Medium heat, lid off completely now.
The yam has been boiling for 30 minutes. Fork goes in with no resistance, completely tender. This is what we need.
We drain it completely. Every drop of water must leave. Water in your pounded yam makes it sticky and difficult. We want smooth. We want elastic. We want elastic, pounded yam that can be molded into any shape and hold it perfectly. And now the pound. This sound is the sound of 1,000 generations of Nigerian kitchens doing exactly this before dinner. Done. You see that stretch? That pull without breaking? That is correct pounded yam. It yields, it stretches, but it holds itself together. That is the character we are looking for. For my international viewers who do not have a mortar, you can use an electric mixer with the dough hook attachment. Start on low, work up to medium, add your hot water the same way. It will take about 8 minutes to achieve this same smoothness. It is not traditional, but it is honest. And Ziko respects honesty. The soup goes first, a generous ladle. Make sure you scoop from the bottom, get the egusi lumps, get the meats, get the leaves. Every element of this soup should be represented in every serving. Pounded yam beside the soup, white against red, soft against complex. Together, they are the most complete meal in Nigerian cooking. For my international viewers, pounded yam is not eaten with a fork, it is not eaten with a spoon. You take a piece, you mold it in your hand, you make a small well with your thumb, and you use that well to scoop the soup. And then... Mama, make this soup. Make it for someone you want to show you care about them. Do not say the words, just make the soup. They will understand. Egusi soup with pounded yam, made from sorted meats, stockfish soaked overnight, smoked fish, real stock, fried egusi paste, bitter leaf and uziza, nothing skipped, nothing rushed. Full ingredient list is in the description. Every measurement, every step, written out for you. If this is your first time making egusi, take your time. This soup rewards patience. The more carefully you follow each step, the more the soup gives you back. Subscribe for episode 3, we are making pepper soup, and I am going to tell you something about pepper soup that nobody has ever said on camera before. You need to be subscribed to hear it. That is all I am saying. Tell every restaurant that charges too much for egusi soup, Chef Ziko said hi.